The opening is in 3 days from today. And I think we've all been trying to really focus on what we're creating and the space and the constraints of the space and just to kind of acknowledge what's going on in the building, even though it's very chaotic at the moment and it's kind of still just unfolding.
No, we're not going to chop that. We're just going to screw it and then screw the door.
Okay. These guys are mopping their way out.
Finally today, I feel that things are coming together. Ken, who's doing the community space, brought in the 2 sofas. That's going to be a communal space, these giant sofas, a sofa and a love chair. Having some sense of how the rooms are and speaking with each of you and seeing beginnings of things. Once everything will be done, I think it's just going to be beautiful and interesting. So, timing, like I said, get things done as soon as possible. Saturday, our first visitors. There's a group of APT curators, that's the Artist Pension Trust. It's a new collaboration that we've been building. They have 8 branches worldwide. So if we could find a way to have a home base in each location that there's an APT, that could be a brilliant way to really expand the scope of the project.
We have basically simultaneously been working with a group of construction workers as they're renovating this 100-year-old building, which was empty for 40 years, in Sugar Hill, Harlem, on 148th Street, and we are hoping to make this project a real creative lab and a cross-cultural dialogue with the community and with the group of international artists that are here.
I have to prepare myself to redefine home, because when mom's not there anymore, I still have to have a definition of home. I have to latch onto something. It's comfort, I think. It's familiarity. It's also, in the end, home, it becomes a place maybe where you die.
Home is both a personal concept, it's also a political or a public concept. It has to do with sense, thoughts, ideas. It provokes a lot of answers or even provokes more questions.
It's a seascape. A seascape, yes. My mother used to make me paint every day. I painted a seascape every day. At some point, although I never ever did it again, I decided I was going to make a movable seascape out of blocks, children's blocks. I wanted to think about the idea of, child's play. Basically what this is these are rows and there's one row of sea and one row of sky. It was never like this, obviously. It was like this long running seascape that you could move back and forth. And in fact, when I came here at first, I thought, well, maybe I'll lay them on the floor and then I'll draw them onto the wall and think of them. And then as I was talking to Lior, I put one row up and I thought, oh, it would be interesting if it fits, and then it just did. The idea of home is exactly what suffocates you, but what you look back on as openness, because it's childhood to some extent, and it's that openness of what you will do next, that horizon that you'll leave, but at the same time it's what blocks you in forever,
I'm not talking some grass.
So please, you can leave your shoes here. So on weekends it's actually going to be an interactive site to kind of join. There's Andrea's Home Sweet Home cooking sessions, and the public will be invited to actually spend time in this room, cooking and interacting with this.
Yeah, everything happens on the floor.
So are you going to be ready for tomorrow?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm ready for tomorrow. One thing that came to mind was black on black crime, and sometimes what comes out of that.
We do choose the artists for the project, but once the artists are chosen, they write a text that accompanies their work, and the text is called A Letter Home. So it invites the artist to write in a very personal, direct way about their work.
This is the hardest part, the letter. When Anat suggested exploring the notion of home, I immediately recognized and realized the importance of this for me, and somehow it was autobiographical, and it drew me to my mom's house, the house in Indiana where she's lived for 35 years since we moved there from Iran. My parents were divorced about 4 or 5 years ago, and my mom lives in that house where we grew up alone, and she's gradually trying to get rid of things that are in the house. And this carpet was a carpet that my parents bought when they were married in the early 60s in Iran. It served as a backdrop for us, something on which we played and we celebrated and we ate and we did a lot of things. And when I went home a few weeks ago, my mom agreed to unceremoniously roll it up and give it to me. But I felt that this carpet would be something that when I'd unroll it in my own home, it would represent a very important part of what was my childhood home. And I was happy to be able to include it in this installation.
And I feel like under the stairs, that's that place of something that is maybe trying to shelter, maybe disjointed, and a little dysfunctional.
The piece that I'm doing is all about being a girl and being a teenage girl. You're going to be standing outside of a closed bedroom, girl's door, a closed bedroom door.
Do you have the pen, baby?
And you're going to be able to peep in. Hold on. You're going to be able to peep through a hole inside into the world of a girl. As you get closer to the door, you'll hear sounds and you can kind of eavesdrop that way. And then if you look through the hole, you'll see a video. It's actually a kind of a collage of videos of girls.
The shelf worked perfectly, but it was impossible to leave the room once the video was going. We're going to move this a little bit further to the inside to give us some more room. We're going to get shorter arms for the shelf, and we're going to get a smaller shelf, and she's going to use a jigsaw to cut a little angle. So then
we can open the door.
Yeah. Because otherwise the artist over there is going to have to stay inside the room all the time.
It's the most important part of the artistic process.